hello again, kind of. Yeah, so OBS decided, oh, we're not going to stream to your main RMTP. We're going to somehow sneak it over to the other RMTP and then quit entirely. It said it was not streaming at all. So, hi. We hope you can see us. We hope you can hear us. Sound off in chat if we're having issues with audio, I guess. Um, yeah. And now Twitch is telling me that we're live again. I hope that this goes through. But welcome to Once Upon a Reflection, Other Tales. This is a Cypher system-based fairy tale TTRPG. I am Evie the Disaster GM. My pronouns are she, they, or any, and I am the GM for this fine of disastrous pair of players. Not so much group tonight. There we go. Can see and hear us on both Twitch and Moonbeam.
Hell
Let's go ahead and introduce the two players that are going to be playing tonight and their temporary characters. Starting with Joel, since you're dancing around so much.
Hello, I'm going to be playing, my pronouns are Annie. I'm going to be playing Little Hope, who is an impulsive adventurer who absorbs energy.
Very cool, very cool, very exciting. What are Little Hope's pronouns?
Oh, he, him.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Um, and then, of course, also Amanda.
Hi everyone, name's Amanda. I use she, her pronouns. Tonight I will be playing Lady Kyla, beneficent warrior who keeps a magic ally.
Ooh, fun. And Kyla's pronouns are
She,
also
her.
she, her.
Yes, also she, her.
Very cool. So this game runs every other Friday on on both Moonbeam and Twitch, and when YouTube decides to connect, because OBS is being a bitch tonight, on YouTube Live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, and barring potential interruptions like last time's sickness across the board, and then also tonight Alina's unfortunate lack of voice. Alina, as mentioned, is our normal other player who cannot speak today, and as such, we are playing a little bit of a side story. As we simulcast, don't forget to follow if you're watching on Twitch. Subscribe if you are watching this as a VOD on YouTube. And join the realm that you happen to be watching this from over on Moonbeam. Currently, we are hopefully streaming to the Monty Cook games The Anywhere Door. You may also notice from our overlay that we are raising funds for the Trans Women of Color Collective. TWOCC has a mission to uplift the narratives and leadership and the lived experiences of trans and gender non-conforming people of color while building towards the collective liberation of all oppressed people. Over 800 anti-trans bills have been proposed across the country just this year, and we are barely into April. Donate if you can. Check out their full site from the link in chat or description if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, which let me go ahead and pop that into the chat. Or just go ahead and scan the QR code that you see on the screen if you would like to make a donation. Every dollar goes a long way. AEA and its affiliates receive no portion of the donations. You can also donate directly on their site if that is more comfortable for you. With all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and roll into focusing on tonight's Fairy Tale Friday. As a content warning, we would like to remind you that this is an adult content rated game with depictions of adult language, depictions of violence and gore, possible mentions of loss or trauma, and or similar content. We do our best not to cross each other's lines, but for those watching, you have been warned. We find ourselves falling not just through the reflection, but falling through time. The three champions that we normally see are not the first, and they won't be the last, to guard the balance between the world of fairy tales, folks, and fables, and the real world. As long as stories have been told, guardians have stood between the balance and helped to create that delineation of fantasy and reality. For without that separation, reality shall crumble. Years ago, decades perhaps, we find a pair of another group of champions wandering through what could almost be considered a rainforest. It is lush and beautiful with greenery, vibrant beyond belief. Flowers growing of in massive sizes all around them as they follow a trail towards, we'll call it, a city of legend. Amanda, would you like to describe Lady Kyla?
Lady Kyla is basically a knight in shining armor, but a little bit different than I think one would expect. Bright, shocking red hair tied up in braids, very fair skin. Um, Literally just like the typical kind of chainmail medieval armor. And curiously, a bottle tied around the waist with a pink ribbon of some sort that she holds very dear to her. Um, yeah, basically, if you saw that Chapel Roan performance, that's kind of what she looks like.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, she carries a broadsword with her as well as a crossbow, but she prefers she's a melee fighter.
Okay.
Basically, she's like a princess in shining armor. Let's put it that
That does seem to fit, yes.
way. Mm-hmm.
So the path has been long. You have been tracking this disturbance for a couple of days at this point. And you know that you are getting close, but it is strange to be trying to fight your way through the equivalent of a fairy tale rainforest, as opposed to the areas that you are a little bit more used to. It's humid and hot and sticky, and there's the sounds of a variety of creatures and animals out there that you're not sure if those are animals that exist in the real world or fairy tale equivalents or creatures of some unknown origin, because you've run across quite a few strange things in your adventures so far. Not too far away, we also have Little Hope. Would you like to describe your character, Joel? You are muted.
Yes, Little Hope is a 6 foot tall, incredibly buff individual.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's got like really rugged features. Like this is someone that you would look at and you're like, that man has either killed or been around people who have killed before. And he's wearing a frilly little dress. That is just it's almost like I don't know how to explain it. It's very simple. It's got well, it's not simple. It's embroidered, but it's got. Uh, uh, I don't know how to explain this. I don't explain clothes very often. But he's got his fluted skirt that opens up on the side, so there's enough space for his well toned legs to be visible because he's wearing very shorts underneath. He's got these baggy sleeves that are just kind of accentuate his just wee. And he's got a little it's not a poncho, but like a little cape that he can then put up over his head like a hood. And it's got it's embroidered
Embroidered.
One day I would learn how to speak. Yes, some of those, but it's frogs, and it's like this, just this, like pastel colors, like pinks and greens, and yeah, he's walking like he wants to kill someone.
Okay. So we'll call that a little bit of a trudging march. How are the two of you enjoying this oh so wonderful shift in weather?
Lady Kyla is very uncomfortable.
Little Hope, on the other hand, is just this is home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, so I would imagine that the armor does make things a little, heavy and possibly contain a lot of that humidity in an uncomfortable fashion. So that makes sense. Um, Go ahead and give me observation based roles because you guys are tracking something, trying to find a path through this rainforest that you are having trouble with currently.
I rolled a 19.
Damn.
I rolled
Okay.
an 8.
He rolled an 8.
Yep.
Okay. Wanted to make sure that wasn't like 18, the teen got cut off.
No.
So, yeah, so, Little Hope, you are just trudging along. You look like you want to like strangle someone or beat someone down or something. You're probably just distracted by the everything around you.
Yeah.
Uh,
For sure.
with
For sure.
a 19, Lady Kyla, um, you see the slight traces of dusting on some of the trees and some of the plants that you have been following, knowing that the person that has disturbed this particular fairy tale was following a particular method of travel. Welcome, Nebula. A particular method of travel that leaves behind this strange powdery dust. You haven't seen what they use to move through without disturbing too much in the way of greenery or leaving footprints, but you know that it does usually have this strange dust in some fashion. Um, and with that, you're able to take that little turn and then another as you weave your way through what isn't really even a trail and is just and is just vague openings in the rainforest around you, leading to a break in the forest that you had not expected. Sudden, instead of tapering off the way that a lot of the areas in fairy tale land happened to be. And looming ahead of you is a massive, massive wall around an equally large city, castle. It's hard to say. The doors, which are cracked open, are probably as big as a warehouse on their own.
Oh, you don't see that every day in the forest, do you?
I don't know. I'm not usually in forests.
Thought you came from a forest.
An island.
Oh,
Yeah. All right, let's go. And I just start walking.
So you just walk
Yep.
down,
Straight
down,
to the porch.
down.
The doors
Yeah.
are open. In there. I am.
I'm going to follow. I'm
I
following Little Hope behind.
Little Hope is impulsive, and their
Yeah.
doors. And this is what we found. We're going in.
Yeah. Down the not quite existing path of massive ferns and flowers, dodging past what might be an oversized Venus flytrap. This is very much still a tropical area. As you approach the massive doors, you see what seems to be is that a statue? You're not sure, but it is someone probably 5 times your height that has either been depicted in stone or in some way petrified. You're not sure what, but there it is stone like and a body that is easily 5 times your height, that is just seems to be sleeping against one of the cracked open doors of the gates.
Man, that's a really cool statue. I keep walking.
Are you going to do anything, Lady Kyla?
Lady Kyla wants to investigate, so I want to come up and I take the little my broadsword and I just kind of like poke at it like with the side, not very hard, just
Okay.
kind of trying to see like get a feel of what it is.
Um, it does seem to be encased in some sort of stone or is stone itself because pieces of it crumble like little pebbles away from a poorly maintained wall or rock facing as the hard metal of your sword comes into contact with it.
Well, it doesn't appear to be a golem of some sort. Who do you think this was?
Yeah, what? Oh, this?
Yeah,
Uh, the Kevin.
Just Kevin.
Kevin. All right. Like, let's go. Well, hmm. Doesn't seem to be in distress of any kind. Perhaps there are other Kevins inside.
Sure.
Mm.
Uh, I'm going inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah. I figured you're already like a foot
I
through the
think
door.
I'm on the
Yeah.
other side of the door, just being like, "Oh, Kevin."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you investigating further beyond just kind of poking it with your sword, or are you just going to follow?
I'm going to follow. I'm not getting any vibes from this.
Okay. So, walking through the gates, you find yourself in what seems to be an oversized city. It is vast and colorful and in something akin to ruins. It looks as if it has suffered some measure of damage, the colorful tile fading. Each doorway, each window sized for something well beyond your limits. It would take jumping to even reach some of the handles. Tatters of what had once been colorful bits of cloth stretched between the buildings as shade flap in the slight breeze that passes through. And there's this distinct sense of loss, of anger, and
I
death.
want I want to take an action to summon my magic ally.
Ooh, all right.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So if it wasn't obvious, my magic ally is a dragon, like a little dragon that lives in
Oh,
the potion bottle.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you take a moment looking around, absorbing the strange, aching anger of this overly large city. Um, and then you reach to your side to the bottle and you summon your familiar, we'll call it, your friend.
Yeah, we'll call it a friend. Um, the fun thing about the description of this ability, it says the personality goals and knowledge are determined by the GM.
Okay.
So,
So, what does it look like as you are summoning this
um,
little dragon, though?
so I the pink ribbon is tied around was actually part of a gown that Lady Kyla had actually worn the
Mm-hmm.
first time that she met the dragon. So when she undoes the ribbon,
Mm-hmm.
it uh, magic kind of cloud of smoke appears from the bottle and manifests, and the ribbon is tied around the dragon's neck.
Okay. So, as it appears in this strange swirl of smoke solidifying into a scaled, live creature, it turns to you and just breathes out more of the smoke from its nose. You cold?
Yes. So tell me, what do you feel in the air at the moment?
Air.
You don't feel that anger, that something bad has happened here.
His tail flicks a couple of times. And he looks at you, and you can tell that he can. And he goes, I feel the air.
Right. Well, perhaps maybe in your travels, have you been anywhere that's quite this big before? And I gesture to the fact that like the doors are like twice as tall as she is. And
Oh, more
More
even
than
than
like
that.
for
twice.
like yeah, more than twice as
Yeah.
tall as she
While this is happening, I am
like
struggling to get into a window and failing.
Yeah. Um, it kind of stretches, looks around, flips its wings back a little bit, scratches on the ground a little bit to uncover some of the broken tile that had lined the streets. Looks at the size of the door. I am pretty sure that you are in a land of giants, if you could not tell.
giants. Well, I suppose they could live anywhere. We are in the middle of a rainforest. I always thought giants lived in like valleys and hills.
Its tail twitches again. Do you have any snacks? It stretches a little bit.
I reach into a pack and I pull out some. I feel like there was probably some fruit I have stashed away.
His eyes get really, really big.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. And I will feed him snack. I was like, well, thank you for helping. Perhaps you could help us investigate. Perhaps you. I, I'm assuming he's not like a full size dragon. He's a little bit bigger
Yeah.
than me though. So perhaps you can see things that I can't see from the ground here.
And then he like cleans his face a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know that I cannot go particularly far from you.
Well, yeah, I would be coming with you. That's not an issue because I just needed basically eyes on the ground down here. Your eyes a little bit taller than me up there. And Little Hope will do whatever Little Hope does.
Can I bite him?
If he does something,
Please.
if he does something particularly idiotic, then perhaps we can arrange something.
All right.
No promises.
I don't I don't want to alarm you, but I think those windows aren't up to, like they're supposed to be that big.
Yes, Little Hope. It is a land of giants. And he
Really?
cleans his face a little bit again.
Because that explains how big everything is.
Yeah.
Richard, you're a smart dragon.
One of us needs to be.
Well, yeah, you're the only dragon. It's true.
Prances forward a little bit, doesn't get outside of that 10-foot distance that he can travel from you, and just like looks at you expectantly.
Me?
Lady Kyla.
Oh,
Kyla will follow because basically, is there? I'm assuming there's like a castle or something
You
kind of
would
in
be able
this.
to eventually get to it, yes.
Mhm.
It's space, it's like all of the spacing, all of the distances are meant to be traveled by
like
giants.
like a city, but bigger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So walking that distance as normal sized people is difficult, we'll say. Um, but kind of leads you over to one of the doors and like stretches a little bit before like trying to push it open doesn't work.
Already
And
tried it. Didn't work.
yeah, leads you to a couple others and just kind of repeats that process because all that you have asked of him so far is to look around and to potentially help you look around.
Mhm.
In the process of this, you do find another of these what seems to be sleeping stone figures. This time seems to be a woman instead of armored figure of some kind. There's an obvious dress that has crisped like slate against her, where she leans against one of the buildings.
Dragon,
Lady,
Little hope.
perhaps come look at this. Do you think this can't be just a normal statue, can it?
no,
You think she's breathing?
no.
Let's find out. I start climbing the giant lady.
Okay, give me a climbing check.
All right. I'm not good at this, I think. 9.
9.
Yeah.
So you start climbing up, and you probably chose the skirt of her dress because it's got the most handholds. And
Yeah.
you get maybe the majority of the way up, and just as you're about to stand to try and find a different route closer up to where her face would be,
Yeah.
part of the shale, the slate of the stone that her dress has turned to, cracks and slides, and you start sliding all the way back down.
Do I like biff it, or is
No,
it just like I just slide
yeah,
down?
it's just an easy slide down because it's mostly curved surfaces that you are attempting to climb across fairly brittle rock.
Look, I may not know if she's alive, but I discovered she's a really good roller coaster. Or slide, really. Just not coasting. She is
She,
stoned though. Her dress broke a part of it.
Well,
I, I assume I like it broke at my hand that I was
mhm,
watching something and then it ripped. So I'm just like here, and I hand Katla
mhm.
a chunk of rock.
I take it the rock and I don't first. I sniff at it and I offer it to the dragon. Let the dragon sniff at it.
To you, it smells like stone. The dragon sniffs it, tries to look like he wasn't sniffing it, and then proceeds to just kind of look in the other direction. One of the things that you've learned about this companion of yours is very
Yes.
food motivated, very food motivated, and also very cat-like.
Hmm. Then you don't think that perhaps petrification
But of
turns
course.
tur- turns into stone? I
Oh,
mean, I mean, it's kind of unusual for a statue to be so casual. I mean, she's just leaning there.
yeah. Like
Mo-
the
most most statues are usually posed in a kind of heroic stance. This,
The pose is much more like started to fall asleep, ended up leaning on a windowsill, and is just frozen there.
yeah, it's not a very heroic pose now.
oddly enough, also the same pose as the god in the front.
What guard?
Well, the statue, the Kevin,
Oh,
as you
Kevin.
said.
You think he's a stat like a one of like the same thing? Because
Uh,
I just assume like most important places tend to have little people or statues outside. You know, like the lion thing that's like "Arr,"
Uh,
like that.
so the dragon looks at you, Lady Kyla, like, can I? Can I? Can I?
mhm,
And like
mhm.
is slowly creeping up behind Little Hope.
Okay.
Uh,
I imagine it's sort of like when my cat like just comes up and just bites me.
yeah, so please go ahead and give me a defense roll, either speed or might, because you are about to
uh,
get like just a tiny little nip.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do speed defense, and I'm gonna add a level of effort to that.
Okay. Because you're probably used to this.
9. I am trained in speed defense, for the record.
Give me a roll, Lady Kyla.
Oh,
It's it's your familiar.
I that was an 8.
8.
So,
Yeah. So like very casually sneaks up next to you and then just like head whips to the side and tries to nip you on the arm, and you just dodge away
I think I
without
think
without difficulty.
I think if this is like something that I'm used to, I just kind of do the shark deviation of just like grabbing the front of it and tilting it in a different direction. So I don't. I'm still talking about Kevin, and I just go like, yeah, stop.
yeah.
No
Yeah,
actual.
like I said, I imagine the dragon. You know, at this point, let's just call the dragon. The dragon's name is Milo because that's my
Okay.
cat's name.
Okay. So yeah, Milo's tail is going,
Hmm.
then its wings resettle and shuffle a little bit.
But yeah, no. The outside usually is like 2, 1 on each side. So this that was 1. Although I didn't look in the other way, I was kind of
You
going.
were you were you had your blinders on. You you
You
you,
think
you
she
tend to do
hurt?
that.
You think if I hit her, she's gonna hurt? Like, do you think that'll wake her? I'm gonna punch her. Too long.
Well,
Okay.
don't.
I'm just
Make an
punching
attack roll.
at this.
You just hear me just say, don't break her.
Yeah, make an attack roll.
That
It
is a
is a.
15,
I was about to say it's a difficulty 1. She's a
and
giant
I am
statue.
trained in punching specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is a giant statue. It is a difficulty 1. It is like huge and right there, not hard to hit at all.
Yeah, cool.
So you were trained, so that brought it down to a 0. You rolled a 15. So roll some
I
damage.
also just so
Or
everybody knows, I am also no need for weapons.
no.
So
So
I'm
what's your damage?
a 5
5.
because
So
my weapons count. Oh, sorry, 4. My bad.
4. Okay.
Yes, because my
Medium
weapon,
weapon.
my fist counts as medium weapons.
Which is 4. And you don't
Yeah.
have like anything adding on to that?
Not yet. I
Okay.
get the additional points when I use my focus stuff, but I haven't used any of that yet.
Okay. So, what were you aiming for?
Whatever I can reach,
Be-
the ankle. I don't
yeah,
know.
because it's like she's kind of collapsed against the house, so you can reach anywhere from foot to hip, essentially.
I'll punch the knee because I'm
Okay.
trying. So my thought process is that when you go to the doctor, they kind of hammer your knee to see if you're like if you have like move. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm
So,
gonna see if he kicks.
yeah, so you haul back and you punch where you think the reflex button is.
Yeah.
And more of that shale like slate colored. I know those are two different rocks, but it's got the texture of shale and the color of
Mm-hmm.
like a dark slate.
No, yeah, I know. I know exactly what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Flaky stone that
Okay,
is dark and gritty.
gotcha. I'm with you.
There you go. So you haul back and you punch right at the knee where you think that like reflex knee jerk reaction is, and some of that flakes away, and you leave behind a small crack.
Oh no, I think I may have killed her knee. Uh,
I told you not to hurt. Milo.
my defense, it wasn't hurting because a statue clearly. Otherwise, she would have gone like, "Oh no, my knee! Ow!"
Well, you didn't know that.
Well, but now we do. So you can't blame me for knowing things.
Oh, I hate it when you're
I'm right very often.
right. No, you're not. But
I'm right this time at least.
Milo just blows some smoke in your face and turns towards Lady Kyla, who called him.
I see. I am completely unaffected by this. This is yeah. It's not even dusting.
you have my permission to bite him whenever you want.
And the dragon just is looking at you very consideringly.
And I go, "Hello." So, do you know how to unstatue people or giants? I don't know if there's a same like what is it anatomy.
Are you asking Milo or
I'm
Lady
asking
Kyla?
Lady Gadla. Uh,
Kyla.
Kyla.
Kayla, sorry, Kala. I don't know words.
Yeah,
Well, to be fair,
that
it's
is very
Gaelic
Gaelic. Yeah,
spelling.
that was very Gaelic. Yeah, that one is
In
very
my
Gaelic.
defense, I decided to play another stupid character. All right, this one's
That'd
almost
be funny.
dumber
That'd
than
be
the
funny
other
if
one.
like that just is how you say her name. That I would just
Yeah,
in character love that.
Yeah,
sure.
you saw how it was spelled once, and you can't forget
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Um, no, I don't really know any sort of magic. That's usually why I refer to Milo on these things.
Well, the dragon.
Yes,
I do want to ask the dragon if he knows how to unstatue the giant.
Milo, you wouldn't have to know how to reverse what we assume is a petrification.
Just stretches a little bit and refrains from answering. Which probably means yes, but he's not going to tell you.
Yeah, yes. So, well, perhaps we should keep looking.
At the giant. Okay.
Towards the, I don't know, perhaps there's a castle. Maybe there's someone still alive here. I don't know.
Oh, we were. Oh, okay, sure.
Yes.
I start walking.
Hmm.
So
I'm assuming we're gonna walk towards like a castle or some kind of landmark.
go ahead and give me a perception check from both of you. Since you're kind of walking around, just to kind of get what you see.
16.
8.
16 and an 8. Okay.
The same as last time you asked me for a perception roll from this guy.
Yeah. And there's nothing in either of your abilities that would boost that in any way.
I have a lot of. I am very fast,
You are very fast.
and if something attacks me, I fucking got it.
Okay. You're not particularly observant. That tracks with
Nope.
the whole
with the everything.
everything that you've been playing with this character. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you said that was 15, Kyla?
16.
16. All right. So with that, looking around, you don't necessarily see what you assume to be people. There isn't really traces of life, but then you start to realize that some of the odd shapes aren't buildings. They are more of these petrified giants, sometimes in pieces.
Oh no.
Yes.
That can't be good.
You also see a small trail of slightly glittering whitish purple dust.
What is bad? I don't. What?
The person we're tracking, or the thing that we're tracking,
Right, right.
they've been here.
Well, yeah, that's why we followed here, right?
Yes, but the trail continues onward.
Well, yeah. If it wasn't, we would have found them.
So let's follow it.
Okay. Where?
So, as you follow the bits of trail, which are hard to find, but you're rolling high enough, you take a turn away from the path that would lead you to the castle, and instead end up going towards what seems to be, you're not sure if it is a office or a house or a warehouse or something. It's a little bit more boxy. Ollie is going downstairs to search for you right now, by the way, Joel.
Oh,
He just went down the stairs.
Oh,
Um,
Oliver.
but it's a little bit more boxy than some of the other buildings that you have come across thus far. Um, and there's what seems to be a hole in one of the walls.
Unless I'm stopped, I'm going in the hole.
how big is the hole? Like,
Big enough for people,
big enough for
not big enough for a giant.
interesting. So yeah, it sounds like that's where we need to go.
All right, going, and I'm going.
Okay.
I
So,
I let him go first.
so yeah, you jump through the hole into an extremely dark building that you can't really see a lot inside of. Trying to kind of get a look around to know where you're going, you get the impression that there are curtains or something at the window near the hole where you had been intending to go through. So you've pretty much just got this small circle of light right where you went. Hello, buddy. Right where you ended up. Hard to say what might possibly be beyond it. Are you doing anything, or are you just gonna kind of dive into
Yeah.
the darkness?
I'm stepping through the hole, and
Uh-huh.
once I'm in the darkness, I'm gonna turn around and go. I can't see shit. You got a light.
Okay.
Not the first time
Yeah.
Definitely
that
not the
that
first
little
one.
hope has ever just like wandered in somewhere and just being like, I can't fucking see. So
Uh, are you still on the outside, or are you joining Little Hope on the inside?
I'm joining, and
Okay.
I ask Milo if he could provide just a little fire so I can light
Okay.
the
Is that one of the
torch.
abilities that he's got?
You know what? It's sure. Let's just do that.
Okay. Uh,
I'm assuming it's a dragon, has dragon abilities.
okay.
Doesn't say otherwise.
So, it's not because he's a dragon. It's not that he can
Mhm.
just like make a single flicker or ball of fire like a
Mhm.
lighter. So he puffs out a couple of flames,
Mhm.
and it gives you flashes of what you would see inside, but it is not consistent. It's not like having a lantern.
True. Okay.
So, in that first flash of light, you see bars, and then you see a bed and some manacles. You see a hallway. The bed is sized for a human or human like figure instead of a giant.
Do I notice this too with my shitty perception, or?
Did you turn back around once Milo started puffing, or were you
Uh,
still kind of looking at Lady Kyla going like, I can't see shit,
uh,
what am I supposed to do?
no, yes, no, I'll turn around. I'm not that stupid. I'll take a look around with the fire.
Had to ask considering
Hmm.
Senor Fluffington. Um,
Fair. He would have looked at the
He would have
wall.
just been staring at the fire.
yeah,
Probably was sitting face first in the dark,
exactly.
not know anything.
Exactly. Um,
Yeah.
so yes, if you turned around, you would have like caught glimpses of that.
As soon as he does, he's gonna put his fist to his belt and just go. Feels like home.
I'm just going. Lady Kyla ignores that comment.
It's probably not the first very concerning comment that Little Hope has made, and
Yeah.
it won't be the last.
No.
Nope.
But yeah, like there's just the occasional flash of light, little bits of detail, flash of light, little bits of detail, flash of light, little bits of detail. You hear whistling in the distance, flash of light, little bits of detail.
But what? Hold on. What was that last one?
Flash of light, little bits of detail.
No, the one
No,
before
no, no.
that.
Before that,
Sorry. I could have sworn I heard something, and
Yeah, you could have sworn that you heard something. You
uh,
definitely could have sworn that you heard something.
I'm suddenly getting like horror vibes right now. Like, we're not just gonna like Day of the Living Dead kind of bullshit right now, are we?
we probably are, but maybe.
I am gonna
um,
start edging towards the door, towards the hole in the wall, just slowly backwards, away from the darkness.
Um,
oh, is the big little hope scared?
If it's zombies, yes. Did you know that
What?
if they fight you to turn you into them? That shit's scary.
Yes, but zombies don't whistle. They don't have lips. They can't whistle.
I
I
mean,
don't think.
if they were just turned, they do have lips. They don't all just mad like their lips just fall off.
Well, I mean, they maybe they do. I mean, obviously this place has been abandoned for quite a while.
Right. Well, no, this is the giant thing. But there's giant zombies that are whistling. You don't know, maybe zombie or giant body things work differently when they're zombies than humans do.
I hate that you are also making a point.
I told you, I'm right a lot of the time.
you're you're not wrong. Let's just put it that way.
I agree. So we're leaving, right? We're just gonna say fuck this place and just leave, right?
There is a part of Lady Kyla who is, as being a knight and being very, actually, since she is beneficent, she has an ability that she is good at talking people through things.
okay.
Yeah, so trained in putting other people at ease. So I'm going to use that again with little hope to continue investigating.
So I think it's really funny because I have an inability in patience and discipline. So I don't think this is gonna work for either of us.
So you try.
Oh,
You are used to Little Hope being a little bit more resistant to this than others. But Little Hope, go ahead and give me a perception check since you are so paranoid about everything going on right now.
19.
19. The whistling sounds like it's coming from down the street, not from inside of the building.
You know what?
And
I think we should stay in here, actually. I think this is
and it's very sporadic. It's like it's drifting. It starts and then stops. It starts and then stops. Um,
Mm.
in
Does
your,
it does it seem to be like growing distant and coming back, or is it like a consistent like tone?
consistent tone. Um,
Okay, that's not good.
so, how versed in fairy tales would you say your alternate personas are?
My character.
Yeah, both of you.
Oh, fucking, he's incredibly versed in this shit.
Okay.
All of his moms, we used to read. They took turns reading him different fairy tales every night
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
until he was like 15.
Okay. So go ahead and roll to try and remember what might be setting off this moment of panic for you.
Uh, 10.
10. Okay. Lady Kyla?
I'm going to roll as well.
Okay.
I feel like since my real persona is a housewife,
Okay.
so she might be doing some like reading
Okay.
a
We're,
lot in her spare time.
we're really come
And
from all worlds.
what cultures do you two come from?
I
Oh,
am Puerto Rican.
Mm-hmm.
she is just straight up like a Palm Springs housewife, like
Okay.
full on. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I just wanna. As a Puerto Rican, we are very westernized. So most of the fairy tales that we grew up with were Grimm Brothers fairy tales. So if
Yeah.
it's not in that bubble, it's
Yeah.
probably
And that's why I
Yes.
asked. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I asked. Your
Vera
potential exposure will
Weckler is my
determine.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not very knowledgeable of like
No.
other cultures that hasn't been filtered through the lens of like Americana.
Okay.
So
So what were those rolls one more time?
10.
9.
10? 10 and 9. You don't know why it sets you off other than the fact that it's creepy, but it definitely sets you off. You also know that you are. Hi, puppy. You know that you are in a tale territory that is affected by and or based off of what would be considered a fairy tale or folk tale within the real world. You have no idea what it is. You have no idea where you are. You have no idea what happened. You just know that you've been following this really weird dust trail that leaves no like footprints or anything behind. And now you are in a city of giants that have all somehow fallen under some sort of effect that has them sleeping, turned to stone, petrified, you're not sure. And you hear this creepy ass whistling, somehow drifting down the streets as you investigate this, what would be a cell.
You know what I just realized? Zombies leave footprints.
That's very true. I say not knowing if that's true at all. But
Uh,
at the time the logic is making sense.
well, they shuffle, right? And you to shuffle, like that's not really like a careful step.
True. True. And the what we're tracking hasn't left any footprints at all.
Also, the whistling is happening in a consistent tempo, which means that whatever is whistling isn't moving away or closer to us.
Does that mean that we have the advantage of them not knowing where we are?
Or they know where we are and they're maintaining their distance.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Is the hole big enough for the dragon to come through,
No.
is okay? I assumed it was. I just wasn't sure if he was like in the room with us.
Yeah. Yeah, he would have followed you through. He can't go beyond 10 feet from you.
Yeah.
So he is right there next to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's also how you got as much detail of the room.
How is Milo reacting to the whistling if he hears it?
He is occasionally looking back in that direction, but doesn't seem to be skittish or panicked. He also doesn't seem to be completely ignoring it.
Okay. Interesting.
So we're leaving, right?
I believe we have to, but where should we go?
Question.
And
Sorry.
yes.
Does the whistling sound like anything that we've been maybe familiar with? Like, have we heard this whistling before anywhere else?
Nope.
And the trail led us into this building, yes? Or did we
Yes.
just go? Or did we just go into this building for?
The
Okay.
trail led you to the building and to the hole. There's not enough light to pick up the very trace amounts of like strange dust that you've been following. So it's hard to say where from here that would have happened or where
Yeah.
it would have gone, simply because you're only getting small flashes of detail from Milo occasionally just going, and there's light, and there's light.
You know, my mama Marini's told me once that you don't write stories about cowards, and I just walk straight out the hole and start going towards this whistling.
Okay.
Impulsive motherfuckers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd like to believe that I gave him the courage to do
Okay. If you want to believe that, you are welcome
I
to do
want to
so.
believe I want to believe that. But I will follow. I will follow.
Okay. Give me one more perception before you leave the little area.
Yes, yes, yes.
A fun fact that is an actual Puerto Rican saying
Huh?
that my mom told every time I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should do something. Mom's like, oh, they don't write stories about cowards. And
That's
it's like,
so
they
adorable. It's
do,
16.
but sure. Thanks, mom.
16.
Yes.
You think you see also damage to the cell, like, bars before you turn to follow Little Hope out, but I'm assuming that that is not going to hinder you from continuing to wherever Little Hope is going.
Yes. It's in my best interest to follow Little Hope.
Okay. So as you go charging out this little hole into the streets, um, and you try to track where the whistling is coming from, you start walking one way and then you straight, like you hear it again and you start walking a different way. Uh, Give me a attempt at tracking. Do you have anything that would help you there?
No, I have a lot of initiative stuff and like protection move reflex stuff, but nothing tracking.
Okay.
I do then and this is going to be a question of mechanically. I have a trait called helpful, which is whenever you help another character, that character gains the benefit as if you were trained, even if you are not trained or specialized in the attempted task.
Okay. So if you are attempting to help identify where the whistling is coming from,
Mhm.
that would count.
Okay.
So that would ease your task by one, if you wanted.
Yes.
Sure.
So did you roll?
Yeah.
What did you say?
Roll the 3.
You rolled a 3. That's not going to help much.
No.
That is not going to
Okay.
help
Well,
much.
I tried.
But yeah, as you're trying to track down where this whistling is coming from, it always seems to be from the same distance away. You turn down one street and then down another until you have gotten very lost.
I didn't really know where I was in the first place.
Yeah, you don't know where you are in relation to the gates. You don't know where you are in relation to the building with the hole in the side. But the whistling stops. And you hear the shuffle of a footstep.
Uh-oh.
And that's where we're going to take a break.
Okay.
So we will be back in a couple of minutes, hopefully, without any issues on the tech side. I also saw that Redeem for Mr. Twist gets a treat, so we will do that when we come back as well. So stretch your legs, get some water, do whatever it is that you need to do, and we will be back soon.
Hell yeah.
See ya.
hello. We are back, and I have a very excited dog because he knows that he's about to get something. So, since it has been redeemed, Mr. Twist gets a biscuit. So we've got the biscuit in question. Can you come up here? Can you come up all the way? All the way? All the way? All the way? Good boy. All right.
Oh, he's
So
so
the
cute.
sir got his biscuit, but that's all that you get, mister. Yeah, that's all that you get. Thank you. Good job. Yes, that's a good job, buddy. Okay, so we are back. We are ready to go. And welcome back to Once Upon a Reflection. Um, so as you stumble into a clearing, all turned around, no idea which direction you are going,
Right.
the whistling fades away and you hear the shuffle of feet on the ground.
I'm putting on my dukes.
And then you
I'm gonna punch
hear
whatever comes my way.
some sort of rattle, like sticks knocking against each other,
Or bones. Or bones.
or possibly bones, yes.
I am now still with my dukes up, but a little bit more scared.
Okay.
I don't want to fight any bastard skeletons.
No.
They
Lady
stay
Kyla,
dead.
what are you doing?
I am seeing how freaked out that Hope is, and I'm going to stand with him with my sword drawn.
Okay. So you're standing there, and it's
I'm gonna be scanning the surroundings, seeing if I could like pinpoint
okay.
where.
Actually, me too. I'm gonna be looking
Yeah,
around.
I'm gonna roll.
Go ahead and give me
Because
an
I'm scared.
observation roll.
10.
That was an 8, so I
An
don't think I
8.
saw anything.
10.
Okay. Looking around, you are not sure. I mean, you can hear those slight shuffling, clacking sounds, but it doesn't seem to really be getting closer or further away, much similar to when the whistling was at some sort of even distance away. And then even those fade. There's just the distant sound of the rainforest, the jungle beyond the city walls, wind whipping through torn and tattered arraiments within the streets.
I want to lower my sword.
Okay.
I'm going to use my skill in gaining trust. I'm going to call out, please, please show yourself. I promise we won't hurt you.
I don't.
Well, ignore him, I do.
Roll for persuasion.
14.
14. And you said that you are trained in that, so it is eased by 1.
Mhm.
Okay. Are you attempting to be intimidating, or what are you attempting, Little Hope?
Not to poop my pants.
Not to put your pants. Okay. Okay. Valid.
He's not normally a coward, but the undead terrify him.
Yeah, I can get that. So as you're just like, I don't, and you're squaring up. You are ready. You got your dukes up, and you are ready for some fisticuffs, according to the period lingo from when you guys would be from.
Yeah, see?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Here's my right shoe's face, and this one's my left day, except I said it backwards.
And there is another slight shuffle of a foot across stone in response to what you said, Lady Kyla. And then peering around one of the corners, stepping out into the open street, the breeze seeming to follow his steps, is a figure that isn't quite as large as the giants, but definitely bigger than most of the humanoids that you've encountered. Maybe 2 or 3 times your size instead of 5. Gaunt and stretched with a wide brimmed hat, clothes hanging off of his very, very withered frame, and a bag of something slung across his back, held in place, that rattles with each shuffling step of him peering at you with sunken eyes. His lips are still pursed in an unheard whisper, an unheard whistle. And he pauses, staring at you.
Are you dead? The fuck, it looks like dead movement to me.
What's your reaction, Lady Kyla? You were the one that called out to him.
Tell me, what's your business here?
He seems to whistle silently for a note or two longer and shuffles forward another step and then another. Stops maybe 40 feet from you.
The whistle, does it sound like any tune I've heard before?
You
or is
cannot hear the whistle at all now that he is close to you. The closer that he gets, the less it is heard.
I'm assuming that Milo is still active as a companion.
Yes.
I want to kind of shift my gaze over how is Milo reacting to the presence of this figure.
Milo has not encountered this figure specifically before. So he's just kind of watching as warily as Little Hope is.
Question.
Yeah?
Does he look like anything I would recognize? This creature.
Give me a roll. It is eased by 1 because of the culture that you come from.
14.
14. It's not one of the fairy tales. It's not one of the stories, really. Right. I wouldn't call it a fairy tale. It's more like a cryptid, a ghost story that your various caretakers would have told you frequently. But
my mom.
Yeah, but you probably heard stories of it from your peers in passing. Sure. Of El Sibon, the Whisperer, the Whistler. He is known as some sort of freaky cryptid. That's what you mostly remember about him, that is said to have killed either both of his parents or at least his father.
Right,
and is cursed to carry the bones of that parent in a bag across his back. If you heard about him as a child, it was probably because there were stories of him being like used to scare kids into behaving because he eats children. If you heard about him older, as you're becoming more of a teen, as you're becoming more of an adult, it's probably whispered and threats of men that abuse their wives and families.
Yeah.
Aiming for drunkards, aiming for those who sin. But it is said that you are safe so long as you can hear his whistle. Because when you can no longer hear it is when he has gotten close.
Just so you know, this is fucked.
I turn to
Does he look like he's carrying any weaponry or anything that could hurt me?
Not currently.
Is he still moving towards us, or he
No,
stopped before this?
he stopped about 40 or 50 feet away, like
Okay.
just within that short distance.
Fuck. Okay, so this thing, then I tell uh the lady everything. Fucking whistle man. Um, we're in the danger zone. We should probably fucking get out of here and just like the fucking go.
So you don't think he's responsible for, and I kind of gesture to the giant city and the. He's not capable of anything like this, is he?
I mean, I was raised to believe that anybody can achieve anything they set their minds to, but this thing is Lord. This is history thing doesn't stone anything.
Okay.
As
I'm not taking my eyes off of him,
yeah,
by the way, just to be clear.
as you guys are discussing this, he turns slightly, still seeming to whistle, and one of the stone giants that is frozen in some semblance of sudden slumber, he steps toward it, still that shortish distance away from you, and seeming to still whisper, the hand that doesn't hold the bag reaches forward and slowly places down on the ankle of the figure. What had once been a petrified stone giant begins to crumble,
Oh,
bits and pieces falling like ashes on the ground. Clacks and strange chittering broken cracks can be heard, almost to that same whistling tune that you hadn't quite been able to recognize, but made instead of broken bits of stone falling to the ground and bones left behind clattering together. His hand comes around that had been holding the bag and slings it to the ground with a heavy thud, and you can hear the sound of more that you can now definitely confirm are bones clattering together as it lands in a heavy thud. And slowly, one by one, he takes each of these massive bones left behind and shoves it into the bag. It never growing bigger, never tearing, but slowly, one by one, he collects each until there's only the skull left behind, too large to fit.
well, shit. I guess I was wrong this time, but I did say it was bone, so it technically evens out. I was clear, but also, uh, we're not gonna like, we're not, we're, we're not right. Like, we don't have to, right? We're just gonna, right?
Do you, my understanding, you don't want to confront this bone
How,
collector.
do you know what it feels like to have to see your nightmares be true?
I did
It's
when I
not,
married my
well,
husband, but let's go on.
yeah, men are scary. No, but this is worse.
How loud did you say that?
What was that?
How loud did you say that, Lady Kyla?
Oh no.
How loud are we talking?
Yeah,
I'm not being subtle at all.
Okay, so
So,
I feel like maybe within earshot.
oh no.
the head clicks and clacks, and then that gaunt face with sunken eyes and pursed, unheard whistling lips turns to face you, staring.
It was a joke.
Why
You
are you
don't know
joking
the
around?
story behind El Cibon, because unless Little Hope actually told you who
I
the
did say
Whistler's
I did say
potential victims were.
I did say I would tell them everything. So
Okay, good.
they would know.
Okay,
Which
good.
is why he's like, why are you joking around me right now?
I I should probably not do
No.
that. He's a very lovely man. Just inattentive, but just lovely.
Like an owl's head turning further than it should, it seems to twist and turn,
Oh.
and the jaw lifts to where an ear should be almost, with how far it bends.
Oh.
And then it snaps back into place as he turns to stare at you, hunched in place, bag slowly being slung back across his shoulder. Please
I don't.
make a persuasion to convince him that you are not the victim of domestic abuse, I guess.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's
Oh,
cocked. 1 second.
what a specific trigger for this monster to actually be triggered.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's
This
see.
is so specific.
I rolled a 12.
12, okay.
Yeah.
And you have anything to add to that? Anything that
Well,
would
like I
make
said,
it easier?
I'm trained in
Okay.
anything that is pleasant, and that includes gaining trust, putting people
Okay.
at ease.
Okay, this would be putting the creature at ease
Uh-huh.
as it continues to stare at you. And then you start to hear something of the whistled tune once more, even facing this creature so close.
Do I hear it or no?
No.
I really hope he doesn't think I'm the husband.
You don't know.
It's I kind of I leaned back to help. He's like, "You said as long as I hear the whisper, I'm safe. Is that correct?"
Yeah, but he's not whistling right now.
But he is.
Oh shit.
The lips separate, but the whistle seems to continue almost.
I hate this so much.
And he speaks, finally.
Oh boy.
That's worse.
He's not supposed to speak, is he?
Are you the stolen princess?
Do I hear this?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Although technically I am a princess, I'm not, I kind of walked here myself.
A princess is not stolen, is what I respond.
Good point.
The gaunt eyes seem to darken further.
Mm.
Clever prince. Clever prince. On his little butterfly. Clever prince and his little butterfly. Stealing what is stolen. Are you are you the stolen princess? And the head tilts unnaturally to the side again.
I told you it was a zombie.
I so hate it when you're correct.
Which is surprisingly frequent, apparently.
Um, I respond. A princess isn't stolen what is given freely.
Both of you go ahead and give me another intellect-based roll to try and figure out possibly what fairy tale you might be in or around based off of the clues that he has given you.
3.
11.
11. It seems almost familiar, something about a prince and a butterfly and a stolen princess, but it doesn't quite click into place. And the tension from watching this figure that also is somehow out of place and should not be here, like twitching and staring at you and occasionally whistling, the words coming out like wind through broken wind chimes as he speaks.
At this point, Lady Kyla thinks that whatever it is
Mm-hmm.
referring to herself at this point.
Thought that was possible, yeah.
Yeah. But now she's unsure. To be fair, I don't think I'm the stolen princess. No.
And he rushes forward. Please roll for initiative.
I am
Oh
trained
yes.
in initiative. I also have I am trained in initiative, and then I also Evie is definitely.
Hmm?
I am trained in initiative, and I have an ease from danger sense in initiative.
Okay, very good, very good. And
I rolled 10.
rolled 10,
I rolled 9, but
9, but you had both
additional
of
ease.
those helping. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you had both of those helping. So Little Hope would go first,
Okay,
then the creature,
cool,
then Lady Kyla.
Mm-hmm.
cool. I'm gonna like as soon as it starts moving towards us, I'm moving to block because I when it's fight or flight, I'm gonna fight.
Okay, okay,
Unless,
okay.
I mean, unless the creature is away and I don't see it, in which case I'm fucking running. Um, so I'm coming in for the intercept.
Okay.
Um, is that I can reach that with my normal pace because I have range increase,
Yep.
but I also am fleet of foot, which means I can move a short distance as part of another action.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I'm just gonna punch him in
Okay.
his face.
Okay.
Just
His
really afraid.
his face would require you jumping.
I'll punch him in the gut.
Yeah, because his gut is probably around where the top of your head is.
Right. Cool. 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 Question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, that is an action to initiate, so I'm not gonna do that because I didn't do it before. But just for going forward, I have energized object, which I can do onto a weapon. Can I do it onto my fists?
Yes, you can.
Perfect. Cool. Well, I punch him regularly then because
Okay.
um I don't have that activated,
Okay.
and I didn't say I would activate it before, so um I am trained in punching, so that is an 11 plus
11 plus.
plus the punching.
Okay, so you're essentially you're trained, so it's eased by 1 to
Yeah,
hit his DC.
yeah.
Um, that does not hit because he
I
is
figured.
a difficulty 5, so 15
I
or better.
figured.
You are 1 point shy,
Yes.
unfortunately. So
So
it's less that you miss because he is a large figure.
he's a big one.
He's big. He's
Mhm.
big, but he is gaunt and thin and seems frail despite his size.
Yeah.
But your fist makes contact with his gut and it sinks further into the clothing than you really expected because of how thin and drawn his figure is. And then it makes contact and it just doesn't seem to do anything.
Okay. Okay.
So
Put him
technically,
up.
yeah, so technically, because you have a range increase, short for you is
Yeah.
100. So you would be able to continue moving.
Oh.
Because you have a range increase, which means that your like immediate distance is, I believe, 50,
Mhm.
and your short becomes 100. And then
Uh,
because yeah,
yes.
and then because you also have fleet of foot, that means that you can travel up to 100 and still have an action.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Um,
Are you going to stay in place or
yes.
okay.
I punch things, and this is a thing that needs punching.
Okay. So as you rocket forward through these eerily quiet streets, launch your fist forward and then just slightly miscalculate how far into the clothing you need to punch and then make contact, and it's still just no reaction. His face drops to look down at you, and the bag comes around to swing and smack you as if to try and knock you away. Please make a defense roll.
Can it be speed?
Yes, it can.
Amazing. I have a speed. I'm trained in speed defense.
So that means that your difficulty is 4 instead of 5.
I
Did you
rolled a
roll?
10.
I was gonna
Oh
say,
no,
like
that
you were.
is enough.
What?
Because I'm trained, isn't it? Oh no, never mind. I'm stupid. I understand. I'm good. It did happen. I
Yeah.
worked. I'm.
Yeah, I saw you
Uh,
going like this, and I'm just like, did you roll a natural one? Are you kidding
no.
me? But yeah, so unfortunately, the bag, and you can feel the variety of shapes and
Yeah.
like long stick like bones from within this sack slams into you, dealing 5 points of damage.
Doing 4 points of damage because as he's hitting me, this glittery pink fairy looking like energy, like magical girl style energy, begins to glitter between me and the bag, and I absorb that kinetic energy. And now the detailing in my super cute princess outfit, it starts to glow because I have energy inside of me.
Beautiful. I just wanted to share with the audience that while you have shown us the image of
Yes,
what your outfit looks like, I cannot help but picture the Rock as the Tooth Fairy.
that's kind of the vibe. Yeah, it's like a big, strong, muscle man, like classical action hero in the cutest little princess adventurer outfit.
And
Maybe a little bit thinner. I don't. He's supposed to be more agile than
okay,
big muscle.
okay.
But
Uh,
let's go. Sorry.
and Lady Kyla, you were trying to say something, but I cannot open the chat right now.
Oh,
Um, Basically, I, as part of my beneficent background, I can also intercede and take away a point of damage as
Okay,
well. But
so
it says if you have armor, it does not provide a benefit when you use this ability.
it
So I
is not
don't.
armor that Little Hope is using, though,
Okay,
because you are using your
I
focus
have armor.
ability to
Yeah,
absorb the damage.
yeah.
Okay.
this is
I take 1 point of damage in its stead, basically.
essentially what I do is that any kinetic impact that hits me, I can just
Hmm.
absorb some of that kinetic energy to then unload later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
So
fun, which fun fact? The very first superhero I ever wrote about had that exact same power.
Very cool. Very cool.
very cool. So are you attempting to use that beneficent
Yes. Yes.
ability for Little
Mhm.
Hope? Okay.
Yes.
So that means that you absorb one and you technically take 3 instead of 4.
Cut in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as the bag
Nope.
slams down against you, and you still feel that impact. That's like worse than most people punching you.
Mm-hmm.
And the crunch and rattle of the bones inside of the sack. His mouth opens, and just this silent scream in your face.
Yep.
Please also roll me a perception check.
Okay. 18.
18. You see the markings of a collar around his neck.
Kinky.
Um, Lady Kyla, it is your turn.
I am going to use crushing blow So I have my two-handed a broadsword that I use two-handed.
Hmm.
So I apply effort on the attack.
Okay. Um, so you were still a little further away because Little
Hmm.
Hope ran to meet him.
Hmm.
Um, so you will have to, unless you have a range increase, you will have to roll for movement to
Okay.
reach him and attack in the same turn.
I have
Okay.
two abilities about just for my movements,
Yeah.
which is
Oh,
why I
okay.
can do all of that.
Ooh, that was only a 4, so maybe I don't do that.
Yeah. So you're just not quite able to get to him. You
I
can't
do
go
have a
past that.
crossbow.
Yeah. So you would be able to attack with that, but you
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to attack with the sword
Yeah.
because you
So
only managed to like stumble forward 10 feet
yeah, I just
essentially.
have a regular crossbow then. Just
Okay.
regular attack.
All right.
Uh yeah, that's it. That's only a 10.
Does not quite hit. You're
Hmm.
looking for a 15 because this is
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
level 5 creature.
Unfortunately, I took all of my bonuses into melee, not ranged. So I'm gonna try to make my way closer.
The fact that I knew it was going to be melee is why I took the speed stuff so that I could get
Yeah,
into melee. I learned
yeah.
that from Evie, for the record.
Yeah, I played a speedster at one point.
Yeah,
Mm,
so I was like,
mm-hmm,
I know how to get up close and personal in the worst way possible.
All right, so
mm-hmm.
as you shoot and it just goes wide, which is surprising with how big this thing is, but it's starting to loom itself back up into a standing position from the swing that it had taken against Little Hope. And the crossbolt just shoots through some of the loose clothing that hang like curtains almost around his gaunt form. The eyes don't necessarily glow, they seem to deepen even further with darkness. And it comes back around to Little Hope's turn.
Um, well, I mean, it takes an action to do it. So I'm just gonna rear back my fist and put my hand over it, and all of that pink fairy energy around my body, all that princess power is going
Yeah,
to just begin to glow like an anime fist.
yeah.
And I'm just gonna
Riding
sit.
evil by moonlight. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna power up my princess punch.
Okay. So you're taking a turn to just power it up?
It's an action to activate, so I have to.
Alrighty. So as you do
Uh,
that, hmm?
sorry, hold on. Yeah. So mechanically,
Mm-hmm.
that means that I have already expended the point,
Mm-hmm.
which means that I can re up the armor or the defense thing. So that's
Yes.
just making sure we're
Yep.
all on the same page because I've never
You're
done
gonna
this
need
before.
because you're not gonna need it. You're gonna need
Yeah.
it. So as you're like like hauling back and you're like setting up your pretty princess punch,
Yes.
and all of the glow and glitter seems to collect in your fist and around the bulging muscles of your arm. The creature takes its other hand that is not holding the sack and swings it forward to attempt to grab you.
Grab me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's 15 on the dice, and I have speed defense
15.
test.
Yeah, so even if you did not have training and speed defense, that would be meets it, beats it. So
Yeah.
you just easily like duck out of the way of this over large, stretched skin, gnarly hand swinging around to try and grab you by the face and neck.
Yep.
And
Hmm.
you can feel something almost sucking, almost siphoning from the hand as it grazes past you.
I just imagine I like duck under and my dress just goes and just frills out. And then the glowing pink grows stronger because I'm charging it up Dragon Ball Z style, but in
Oh
a
yeah,
dress.
an unnatural wind begins to build and your
Yeah,
dress
yeah, the ground
billows
cracks around my
slightly.
feet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, perfect, wonderful. So you see still from maybe 10, 15 feet away, this creature go from trying to just smack Little Hope out of the way with the bag to swinging forward with another large, gaunt hand trying to grab Little Hope by the face, by the neck. You are not sure. But without issue, Hope like just ducks out of the way of it. Do you use your movement to like move the, I'll say that you are close enough at this point to within an immediate distance get to that melee distance?
Yes.
Okay. So what are you doing?
Okay, now I will use my crushing blow,
Okay.
which is where I put an effort on the attack.
Okay.
With my two-handed sword. That didn't help because I rolled a 2.
Do remember you have ciphers you could potentially reroll.
That's true. I will use that.
Okay.
That was a 10 that time.
10 still does not quite hit.
Yeah.
Because you are aiming for a difficulty 5, which is a 15. Dropping that by 1 brings it down to a 12.
12. Yeah. That's
So
what I thought.
it you you drop the crossbow, reach forward and swing the sword to try and slice into him, and it seems to catch on this almost bony structure to the leg that is hidden within these loosely hanging pants. Looking down, you can almost see the gnarled, twisted toenails of his bare feet in front of you.
Not the
As
dog.
as you like pull the sword back, there was no damage, no seeming notice even of the attack.
Okay.
Little Hope, you have been charging up. Your temporary companion has rushed forward in an attempt to aid and swung, striking against the leg of this creature.
Is the
It
creature's
did
attempt
nothing.
on me or on her?
For the moment, it seems to be on you because you were the most immediate response, the most immediate
Fair.
opponent. It hasn't yet been able to try to turn in response to that.
Cool. Then I'm going to just like from this position, I'm going to just jump up and just try to princess uppercut his face.
Okay, okay,
Ultimate
okay.
princess uppercut.
Okay, so just for shits and giggles, give me a jump check, like add
Oh
some
God.
acrobatics to your attempted leap of the height of a building.
Nice.
I'm
On a
going
9.
to use my help action for this.
Okay.
Oh, well 9 plus whatever.
Okay. So it's enough to where you'd be able to jump up because he's only about 2.5 to 3 times your height.
I also technically, to be pedantic, have a range increase, which means I could technically move at longer distances.
Yes, but you also don't have the ability to fly or hover.
Yeah, but I can jump, and that doubles my distance, so I can jump. I can double jump. I can like, oh,
Uh, but with the assistance and the fact that you've been powering it up, you do manage to hit the chin instead of, say, the chest.
sure.
Is what you were basically rolling for.
Fair.
So go ahead and roll for your attack.
Okay, so I am trained in punching, and I'm going to put 2 levels of effort into this,
Okay.
which is a lot of points.
And you're putting it into the hit, into the damage. What are you
Into
putting the
the
efforts
hit,
in? Into the hit. Okay.
into the hit, yeah, because the princess punch deals more damage because of my princess punchy powers.
Okay.
So that's oh no, so hold on.
Oh
Uh,
goodness. Oh goodness.
sorry, math wasn't mathing. Um, okay, and then
So
14 to hit.
okay, that is plenty enough
Cool.
because you had it trained and then eased twice more, so that was bringing it down to 2. So yeah, you launch up and manage to just kind of do this twisting kip up and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uppercut cut right into the chin.
Yeah, and
Sparkles flying everywhere.
it does this perfect heart shaped
Oh
in
yeah.
like
Okay.
it's
Okay.
almost it's like a visual effect, but it's
Oh
real and it's magical.
yeah.
And he takes 4 damage from my fist
Okay.
and 3 extra damage from the energy that I've stored.
Okay. Okay. So that would be a total of
Damage.
7.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Also, you hear in the background, just very faintly, as the wind rustles through, what sounds like a very girly theme song.
okay.
But it just for the second that the punch connects, it's like a
No, no, this is fairy tale land. Like
yeah,
that type of shit just happens
yeah.
sometimes. So like sparkles fly everywhere, and like as they bloom out from the punch, they drift down in a heart shape. In the
Yeah.
distance, you can faintly hear the high pitched voices of a very girly theme song, and Little Hope lands back down. The creature reels back a little bit with that 7-point hit.
It takes a bit to get it going, but it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good hit. And like you can see it reel just slightly before the bag swings down to try and knock into you again.
Okay, well, speed defense. Well, I didn't. I missed the whole desk. Hold on. Ah, I'm not used to the proportions of this desk. 17.
17 easily, easily. You just like whew, dodge out of the way. It swings right past your nose, the rattling of the bones inside clicking and clacking within the sack as it swings past. It misses Lady Kyla by like an inch as it like pops around one arm and then swings back to his shoulder. It is now your turn, Lady Kyla.
Let's try for another crushing blow.
Okay.
Again, applies one effort to the attack, and if it connects, which it won't, so never mind.
What did you roll?
6.
6. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you like
I'm
reach
so in
back,
awe by what I saw. I just
swing again. Like you're
It is pretty
in.
magical.
Yeah, like you nearly got like face smacked by a giant bag of bones as it like swung past you twice, and then there's like sparkles in a heart, and you're swinging, and it just kind of whiffs right past the wobbling figure as it comes to balance again to get the bag over its shoulder.
As it is swinging the back, though, I actually will attempt to use foil danger,
Okay.
which is a 2 cost intellect skill. You negate one source of potential danger related to one creature or object that you are aware of within immediate distance for 1 round. It can be a weapon or device held by someone, a trap triggered by a pressure plate, or a creature's natural ability, something special, innate, and dangerous, like a dragon's fiery breath or a giant cobra. You can also try to foil foes' mundane action. I'm essentially trying to keep him from swinging that thing.
Okay. Uh, so is that an action to
Oh,
initiate?
no, I have to make a roll against the level of attack, danger, or creature.
Okay, but it's not an action to initiate.
Yes, it is. Sorry, it is an
Okay,
action.
so you're doing that on your turn. Go ahead and
Oh, sorry,
roll.
was it now my turn?
Yeah,
I thought it was.
it's your turn now. Yeah.
Oh,
I
my
just
bad.
didn't
Sorry.
know if this was like an enabler ability that you were attempting to
No,
utilize.
no.
So, yes, go ahead and roll against the creature for your turn.
9.
9 doesn't hit. So, like, you
I
see
think I
this
just
swinging.
jump up, grab the bag, and then kind of just stay there for a second.
Yeah. And then it, like, just slips out of your fingers, small tears, and you can see these strange, rotting, yellow white things inside before the bag almost heals itself while still swinging back over the shoulder.
You know what? I'm fine. I don't want it. You can have it. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And I think I don't know. Does Cypher have flanking rules or
It
is
does
that a thing?
not. It is not,
Well,
apparently,
then
unfortunately.
I'll just square up and stay there, I guess.
All right. So it is going to then reach forward again to try and grab your face.
My face.
Yeah, you're the one that's actually doing something to it, so
You know what? Fair enough. Um. He's attacking me.
he's
I
attacking
don't.
you.
I really really want to fail this to see what it is, but I know that it will hurt.
Are you choosing to fail? You can.
Doesn't matter. Roll the six.
Roll the six. So this hand whips up and then, with strange preternatural speed, wraps around your face and neck. The hand is so large that it can manage to partially cover your mouth and face while also wrapping around your neck and lifting slightly. You can feel this siphoning sensation
Okay.
as it deals 5 points of intellect damage.
Intellect damage. So it's not a physical attack, is it?
No, he's just grabbing you.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, and in your head, you hear it's not whistling this time, it's whispers.
Mm-hmm.
Bring the bones back to me. Bring the bones back to me.
No, I'm okay.
My forest will expand. And then the hand slips off of your face, leaving behind this strange grayish tinge where it had touched.
Cool. 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 Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Lady Kyla?
Sorry, I burped.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
stress burping.
uh, um, again, another crushing blow since I have the edge
Mm-hmm.
to my might. I'm just rolling that. And I rolled a 12. That's with applying effort on the attack,
Which finally hits.
which means that since it hits, I get a free level of effort on the damage.
Yeah. All right, so as this hand is sliding away from Little Hope, leaving behind this almost ashy burned look to his skin, you swing up, and where are you aiming for? What are you aiming to do?
Let's see. I'm still kind of on the ground. Is it if it reached out, that means it's lowered. Is that correct?
Yeah, it has to reach kind of forward and down slightly.
I'm just going to aim at its arm
Okay.
then.
All right, so you swing up and slam down with the sword, dealing
Hmm.
how much?
So sorry, excuse me. I got so excited, I choked on myself. Uh, so since it is a medium weapon, it does damage 4 within a free level of effort on the damage.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
So
know what that means.
I'm pretty sure that a free level of effort does 3 points extra damage.
Okay, so it's 7.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yes.
7. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So like it cracks into this arm, severing open part of the sleeve that had covered it. And you can see from the torn material this strange greenish, grayish white pallor to what might be skin that's actually torn open slightly from the fact that you are using a blade. Um, but it's not bleeding. There's not blood to bleed. Little Hope is correct. This is an undead of some kind. This is some sort of zombie specter. And just slowly trickling out from the wound seems to be ashes and gritty white powder of some kind, like ground bones.
You can just hear me say, "I so hate it when you're right."
Okay, out of character though, wild that I nailed it on a passing joke.
I've been waiting to whip out the Whistler for a while, okay?
Fair enough.
Fair
Like
enough.
as soon
Yeah.
as I read about this shit, I'm just like, oh, this is going into Once Upon a Reflection.
Uh-huh.
Um,
So fair.
but yeah, so I like, and it seems to reel back with not quite a scream, and at this point, you both see the hints of the collar peeking out from the tattered clothing that he wears.
Okay. Cool. My turn, yes?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm actually gonna get back into that same position of charging,
Mm-hmm.
but instead I it's gonna charge pink just like before, but instead of being a melee, it's actually like a beam of princess love, and um, I'm gonna release energy on him. I don't need to absorb energy to release it.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to spend points, this is 1 point of might, but I have might
Edge.
edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have to. So I'm making I think I'm making a range attack against this thing.
Okay.
It doesn't say that I need to what I need to roll, but I think we've established that if it does, even if it doesn't, if it's a negative thing, I have to roll anyway.
Yeah, if it negatively affects the creature, you have to roll against the DC
Right.
because it's essentially that
Cool.
you're attacking the creature.
Nope. 9.
So the beam of energy just slides right past. It's kind of strange trying to aim up because it's kind of like you're trying to aim again at the head, and as it's
Yeah.
reeling, it just poofs right past.
Yeah. It goes
And like,
either it goes through a cloud, turns it pink, and it
yeah,
shapes into a
yeah,
heart.
like it just goes off like a like misfired firework into the sky and then in a heart shape. Pink sparkles, etc., etc. Briefly, because this is fairy tale land, the sky also changes into this strange, like, watercolor rainbow effect before easing back out into a
Yeah.
beautiful, cloudy blue sky.
I think because I think once I do that, I'm gonna look at him sternly and I'm gonna say, "That's no way to treat a princess." And then I'm gonna square up again because I have nothing else to do.
Yeah. It snarls slightly and hunches forward closer to you and seems to start trying to whistle further. And then, while still staring at you, goes to grab Lady Kyla in the face.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Great. Love that. Um, so do I roll
Yeah,
to
it is attempting essentially to touch you, so you are dodging, and if it lands the touch, then it lands the attack.
come on, that was only an 8. So do not
Yeah.
dodge.
Yeah, so as it reaches off to the side and then just grabs Lady Kyla by the face, squeezing slightly, and you can feel the pressure and this strange sucking of energy from you, dealing 5 points of intellect damage.
Cool. Fantastic. Love that for myself.
And then, as the fingers slip off of your face and head, leaving behind that same ashy trail from his grip, He stands straight and opens the bag. It is your turn, Little Hope. Oh, no, it is Lady Kyla's turn.
Is it still within the hour that Milo would be?
Yes.
Is it possible for me to try to have him grab the collar from the neck of the thing? Like, what would that entail?
So you are using. I'm in the wrong chat. Let me look at your abilities because
Mm-hmm.
this is from your focus
Yes.
and your companion has limited things that it can do. What is your second tier focus ability? It is not listed.
Second tier focus. Oh, it is let's see. It's magic ally, so I spend 3 intellect points, and it basically can move up to 300 feet, remains manifest for a longer period of time,
Okay.
and can basically come out of its
Okay.
objects on its own initiative.
Okay. So, yes, you can attempt to have it grab the bag. You're not sure what that will do,
Mm-hmm.
um, but you can attempt to have it grab the bag. You do
Yeah.
roll for him, though.
Okay. That works for me. That
Goodbye.
was a 16.
Yes.
16. All right, so as you're like having Milo like whip around you, still within this like close distance because you haven't spent
Mm-hmm.
the points to be able to send him farther,
Yes. Yeah.
essentially. Um,
Mm-hmm.
his talons grip onto the bag that have been like dropped down and like dramatically opened after this creature essentially just full on palmed your face like a basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Milo grabs onto it.
I imagine he's like he's like a cat where he just is like on it, ripping it to shreds, just
The bag heals itself.
mm-hmm.
So while
But
his
it's a
claws,
distraction.
yeah, while his claws are dug into it,
Mm-hmm.
there are rips that are occurring, and you can see the hints of broken, brittle, aged, and rotted bones inside.
Mm-hmm.
They heal up, and then he like, and he's holding on with his front paws, his front
Mm-hmm.
claws, and he's doing the like cat leg kick to
Mm-hmm.
try and shred it with his back while his wings kind of flap a little bit for balance.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like it, you're not sure if it is damaging the whistler. You're not sure if it's distracting in any way, but he has hold of the bag.
That's better, I think. Um so yeah, and then I can still go on this turn, is that correct?
Yes.
Cool. Cool. Uh yeah, I'll just do another I'll just attempt another crushing blow.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Oh,
Oh.
yay.
So, are you going
Hell
to
yes.
take the special effect, or are you
Um,
going to take the extra damage?
extra damage.
Okay, so that is your weapon, that is
Mm-hmm.
crushing blow, and that is an extra 4 on top. So,
Mm-hmm.
what is your total?
So that is, I believe that was, so 4 plus 4 is 8.
Mm-hmm.
And then I still add the as if it was a free level of effort to the damage. So 11
Which,
points of
yeah.
damage. Yeah.
All right.
That's like a super princess slash. It's ridiculous. 11 damage.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. As this
Yeah.
creature, like, gets like it's starting to lean forward to open the bag on the ground
Hmm.
and is kind of struggling against Milo having gone full on angry cat with a catnip bag on this thing. Um, you have his head even within reach to smack the fuck out of with your sword,
Hmm.
dealing an insane amount of damage against this creature. And it dents the face and dislocates the jaw, slicing a wide gash through the cheek and neck of the creature, knocking off its hat as you strike it.
Very cool. Very, very, very cool.
As you pull back, you see that the injury caused to its arm from earlier has healed slightly, though.
I thought as much.
Mm. Hmm. Hmm.
It's siphoning power from you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's not what I thought, but it makes sense
Yeah.
to regenerate because it's undead. So my turn.
Yes.
Question: Is the bag is the bag open right now?
Yes, it is.
Because I am impulsive
Yes, you are.
and I'm taking a page out of Sybil's book, bless her
Oh,
soul.
God. Yes, you
I
are.
am going to reach in and try to take one of the bones to him with it.
I am going to offer an intrusion.
You can do this to me. Of course, I'm gonna fucking take it.
Because he was doing something with the bag.
Yeah, makes sense.
As you reach into the bag to grab hold of a bone, your attention is mostly on the creature.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that that was a yes to your
Oh yeah,
intrusion.
no, I'm taking the I have never once in my life turned down the gamble of an intrusion.
Yeah. So your attention is mostly on him. And as you're
Yeah.
going to reach for a bone
Mm-hmm.
and you grab onto something that feels brittle, it grabs back.
The bone
And you look
or the
down, and it
oh
is
no.
not looking into a bag of bones. You are looking into a deep, inky portal of some kind that your hand has
Frost.
crossed. And as you try to pull back,
Mm-hmm.
the hand comes with you for a moment,
Right.
and you see
Sure.
dark, inky, sharp, gnarled hands like a hag.
No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank
Hmm.
you.
Hmm.
No, thank
Hmm.
you. It's okay.
Hmm.
You know what? I don't do that.
Hmm.
Okay.
And she has hold of your hand.
Yeah.
Shadows spill from the bag,
Mm-hmm.
creeping underneath the Whistler, and
Right.
then under your feet, and then under Lady Kyla, and slowly beginning to emerge from it is the Death Hag
Yep.
that at
Yep.
least the players are familiar with.
Hmm.
As soon as you said that it wasn't a bag of bones, I just knew how much I fucked up.
I
And
knew I knew the moment you had said I'm going to like use the bone, return the bones to me to fulfill the forest.
Oh,
I
that's
knew then exactly what
true.
we were dealing with.
I didn't even think about that.
A
That's
servant
so
of the death
Uh-huh.
hag.
true.
Yep.
A servant of the death hag.
You're so fucked.
And as she begins to emerge, ichor dripping from her,
Mhm.
like the rotting, weeping flesh that champions in the future might recognize. I will give you each a reaction before we end for the session.
So actually, fun fact, um, I have danger instinct.
Mm-hmm.
If I am attacked by surprise, whether by a creature or a device or simply an environmental hazard, I can move an immediate distance before the attack occurs.
So
If if moving prevents the attack, I am safe. I don't know if she is holding on to me and if that allows me to move.
I will say that she used you to attempt to pull herself through the portal.
Right.
But because, yes, that would be an attack, because remember, she was trying really hard to
Trying to
grab
touch
hold of
me.
Thorn. Um, you do manage to, like, yank your arm out of her hand to move that immediate distance away because of that danger instinct of, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And because for you, you have the extended range, the immediate distance, you're like 50 feet away down the street from them
Um.
right now.
So this is an enabler. Do
Mm-hmm.
I action?
What do you want to do as your action?
I'm going to try to pick up the lady and just fucking go. Like I see, I'm reaching in. I feel the touch. There's the pull. I managed to run free, and then I'm just gonna fucking turn the fuck around, pick up, run.
Do you allow that and cooperate?
At this point, yes. My reaction was going to be, and I don't know if I can do this because I'm still not really sure exactly what my dragon is capable of. I just basically yell at it, trying to compel it to like fire breath the shit out of its surroundings.
Okay. So I would like a might check
Right.
from Little Hope and
Yeah.
a speed check from Lady Kyla for this attempted escape together. Um, and
Uh. Okay.
then you will need to spend the points for Milo to be able to stay behind for him to attempt to fire
Yeah,
breath
I
the
do have the
hag.
points for
Okay.
that.
All right. I'm gonna put 2 levels of effort into this.
Okay.
This. Yeah. All right. I'm
Is it
gonna.
possible for me to also help with this?
That's what your speed check is.
I'm gonna re-roll with my cipher.
Okay.
I can tell you right now, my speed check is a 19.
Okay.
14.
Okay. With that, like, reaction timing and minor effect of the speed check to react and try to essentially hop on with you, Little Hope, you are able to, with that 14, like, just haul Lady Kyla away with you. And we will say cinematically, which, yes, you can have that nat 20 for next time with Senor Fluffington, since this
Oh,
is
thank
a
you.
temporary
Yeah.
little side story. So as
Oh,
you like run from the appearance of this death hag starting to emerge from the bag of bones in the land of the giants that the prince on the quest of cleverness had left behind. Milo blasts fire into her face, and fire erupting, the two of you running, leaving behind the hag and Elsibon. That is where we end for the night.
oh,
Oh my god. For a second, I was like, "Rest in peace, rest
Yeah,
in
I was like,
peace."
well, barely knew ya.
I was like, "Dang, spent that much effort in creating this cool character. Bye."
Funny story. This is not the only time I've ever done the turn around, pick up my teammate, and get the fuck out of dodge.
Uh-huh.
This is actually I play support. This is a surprisingly common thing for me to do,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and it's always against fucking crazy ass moments too. Holy shit!
Yeah.
You guys good?
I
Yep.
saw I saw a very short 2 hour and a half light flash before my eyes just now.
Hey, you never know. We might come back to this when someone's missing again.
Honestly, I hope so because
Uh,
this absorb energy focus is actually so fun. It's so cool. I love it, and I'm definitely gonna write about this Princess Man because it's such a fun character.
It is a very fun little pair, and as a special announcement to our audience, I have let the cast members know, or at least I've let Joel know this before. You will actually see more of these characters and stuff happening
Nice.
during this champion period, as several events that took place during this period affect things that are going on in Once Upon a Reflection's main campaign.
Can't wait for a rematch with a different character with this shit
yes.
storm.
Yeah, so basically, stuff that happened today and what they may or may not have affected may also affect what can be found in the city, or the lost city of giants, should the other group ever find it.
I hope we don't. I just as a player that was fucking terrifying. No, thank you. I'm good.
Elsebon is not part of the City of Giants. Elsebon is not part of the fairy tale, uh, The Quest of Cleverness, or the Cleverness Quest, or whatever it's called. What is it called? I have it noted down somewhere. Uh, there it is. Yeah, The Quest of Cleverness, um, which is, I believe, a Brazilian fairy tale. Um,
Mm.
but
That's
yeah, no,
so cool.
Elsebon is also Central American slash South American, um, but different tale,
Mhm.
and thus also going to be encountered outside of the City of Giants at some point.
Oh,
But good job, you guys. Good job. Thank you so much for joining me for what was essentially a little partial partial shot while we were missing the beloved Elena, who cannot speak right now because lost voice. Um,
no.
we will be doing our outros, and then we are going to raid into my friend Rev Eldridge. It is his birthday today, so if you would like to stick
Happy
around on
birthday.
Twitch,
Happy
we will
birthday.
be jumping over there. So when we do, don't forget to say happy birthday. But yeah, so let's go in reverse this time, starting with Amanda.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda, aka Panda Cabra, using she, her pronouns, and I was Lady Kyla, also using she, her pronouns. Yes, you can find me here every other Friday as part of Fairy Tale Friday. I normally play Rosa and Thorn, who are basically resilient wild princess types who can speak and control animals. So, yeah, feel free to check that out every other Friday here in Altered Echo Archives. Also, every other Sunday, I am also part of the cast of Empyrean Wilds playing Varen Lek. the weird inky goopy girl, basically.
Yeah, so fun, so fun.
Yeah, so yeah, feel free to catch that again. Yeah, find me on Blue Sky. Feel free to say hi. I'm also now also on Moonbeam as well, so I think I am also a part of the Anywhere Door member as well, and I will probably be trying my best to be more active over there too.
Yeah. Joel?
Well, hi there. I was Joel. Well, I am Joel. I haven't stopped being Joel. I was Little Hope. Um, our beloved princess. Um, who is an impulsive adventurer and absorbs energy. Every once in a while, you'll be able to catch me playing him here. Whenever somebody's missing, which is almost never me. I live here. Hi. I actively have skipped out. Like I got a potential job and then I didn't take it because it was on the weekends, and I fucking will never miss an Empyrean Rising or Wild session. So if there's ever any doubt about my commitment, anyway, every other Sunday you can catch me playing the very, very perpetually at the end of their rope, Balmis Forge, who is a pirate sailor. She's a sailor now, um, as she has to just deal with a little gaggle of just crazy characters. It's such a fun game. You should totally watch it. And then every other Friday, like today, I usually play Singer Fluffington, who is something Chihuahua, who is one with beasts. And
The Bruhawa.
uh, no, which Wawa? Thank you. I prefer which Wawa because
Which Wawa?
it,
Yeah.
it's funny to me, and also it came to me in a vision on the way back home from Renaissance. Um, but yeah, no, that was also fun. It's a That's also a stupid fun character in a different way than Little Hope. Uh, but yeah, and then outside of here, I'm staff here, by the way. Hello. I Outside of Altered Echo Archives, you can find me on our Discord server, which is kind of the only place I'm actually online, unless you count being online on TikTok, sending TikToks to my boyfriend. Which I don't count it because he's literally like right there asleep. Um,
Hi, boyfriend.
Hi.
Dragging to sleep. Sleeping. Anyway, if you want to support me, I am a writer. I've been writing for a very long time, and all my writing is currently being uploaded to Patreon. It's a lot of it. For like $1 or $3, I can't actually remember. Hold on, I should look it up so I stop saying that I don't remember what my tiers are. Hold on, wait. Yeah. For $1, you get all of my finished novels, which is like 10 of them or 11 of different sizes and different genres. I am working on editing some of those, but the original drafts are still there for your perusal. I apologize if you read them. But for $5,
Oh my
um,
god.
Don't apologize for reading them.
But for $5, you can subscribe to the Backrooms section with tier, which is the one that actually has the stuff that I've been working on like presently. And amongst them is I started a new fantasy story. It's just the first chapter, so it is what it is. And then it's like a Crimson Tears, which I've been talking about for months. Which is about a just mysterious FBI, a government agent of some sort, who goes to a small town to investigate why the local watering hole, the local lake, has turned overnight into blood. Mystery. Uh,
Mystery.
yeah, so do that. I also recently moved to Colorado, so if you want to send me
We're
housewarming,
practically neighbors now.
we haven't seen each other in
I know.
almost.
To be fair, the week you moved here, I like was deathly sick with the cold. So
Well, I'm glad we didn't see each other that day.
yeah.
I just moved here, so if you want to like send me stuff, I have a throne. It's got just stuff in it. And if you
Support
want
the
to stay in
cast.
touch,
Buy me things.
yeah, buy me things, please. I need them. I don't make enough money to get them all. But outside of that, yeah, if you want to stay in touch and find out what I do when I do it, AA Discord. So the only place I'm active.
All right. Uh, well, to wrap that up, I'm Evie, the Disaster GM. I'm the director of Alter Deco Archives. My pronouns are she, they, or any. Generally speaking, you can find me on Alter Deco Archives, be that our Twitch, the YouTube comments occasionally when those do come through, or our socials like Blue Sky and our Discord. Our Discord is linked in chat for those of you who happen to be watching on Twitch. I am also the person behind the Alter Deco Archives handle on Moonbeam Streams, the Anywhere Door. So definitely check things out there. Our announcements generally go out first on our Discord. So if you wanted any news or to keep up with things that are going on, like someone being missing for a session or special things that we were coming up with, I had some members and cast helping me to decide on location names recently in our Discord. Go ahead and join. You will need to acknowledge the rules to be able to stay past that initial click of the link, just as a warning. But yes, also definitely join us over on Moonbeam. It is very fun and lots of people there, lots of streamers. It's a new platform, so it can definitely use the traffic and chat. It's still in beta, it's an open beta. So if you have not joined, go ahead and check things out. Join the Moonbeam Realm as well for any updates or questions that you might have. A lot of stuff is still in development, but they are working on things like raiding and some other stuff, which, speaking of, as mentioned, we are going to be raiding into Rev's channel for his birthday. But yeah, so check out the cast links in the description or chat. Check out our Discord. Follow if you are not already, so you can be notified of any potential new games or us going live. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.